am Deidre Quinn, and welcome to Pending and Trending, a podcast that started in real estate and grew into so much more. Here, we talk about the power of building wealth, creating opportunities, and designing a life that lasts for generations. With expert guests and real conversations, my mission is simple: to help you elevate your journey and build the legacy you deserve. Welcome back to Pending and Trending. Today, I am joined by Garrett Maroon. He is a real estate entrepreneur, coach, and podcaster based in Newport News, Virginia. Garrett is the founder of The Faithful Agent, a nonprofit and podcast community designed to help real estate professionals integrate faith, leadership, and business without compromising who they are. Today, we are diving into what it really means to build business by relationships and how to protect your family and personal life while growing professionally, and how redefining success can completely change the way you lead and serve. Garrett, I'm so happy to have you here today. I can't wait to get into the conversation.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right, let's dig right in. And now you help agents create a business that thrive on trust and relationships. And I'd really like to hear more about that, so you can share some of that with our listeners.
Yeah, for sure. So my quick background, I've been in real estate for 11 and a half years. I came in, I took all the classes, cold calling, door knocking, open houses, all the things. And none of them, I didn't like any of them. Then none of them were me. And I was 27, right? I was pretty stubborn. So I'm like, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm only going to work by relationship. And now I'm not from here. I didn't grow up here. I had 40 people in my database when I started. Honestly, thankfully, that decision forced me to become an expert at that one thing, right? How do I create and generate repeat and referral business? And it's been 11 and a half years. I've never done anything else. I've never bought a lead or done an open house or anything like that. And I've been fortunate. I've sold over 650 homes up to today. And it's been an incredible journey, just trying to focus in on one thing and being excellent in that one thing. And it's opened a ton of doors. And so, yeah, I'm passionate about helping agents really understand who are they. And instead of going and being excellent at all the things the industry says, figure out who you are and then go be excellent at that. That's what success is going to ultimately come from. And yeah, I'm fortunate to have had that experience myself and hope that I can point others in the right direction too.
That's great. That's great advice. What are the key systems that you use, and what can you share with us as far as if somebody wanted to model your direction, how would they go about that?
Yeah. So super simple. Right? I love simplicity. I hate complexity. And why I say that is because in our industry, we overcomplicate what lead generation needs to look like, right? Instead of becoming more intentional, more excellent, doing less but better, following the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule, to say what actually matters from these actions that I'm taking, we tend to try to do everything, right? The agents I coach, right? They show up and it's my lead gen plan is cold calling and door knocking, and I do open houses and I post on social media and I spend 5 hours on a reel that no one's going to watch, but I do all of these things. And my job is to say, okay, hold on, let's really hyper focus in what is actually necessary to do. So when it comes to a system, and I'll walk through, how I create a minimum of 50 transactions a year. I only have 275 people in my database still today. It's by having spent 3 years to really hone in. What do I need to do? What matters? What moves the needle, right? Understanding what that looks like for my consumer and for my database. And so the first thing I'd say, if someone's trying to recreate what I'm doing, the system that I created, that I use, that my team uses, is probably a B or a B plus for the listener. I would do it. I would execute it for a year. I would pay attention to how it's working and what's getting reaction and what's not. And then I would tweak it for the following year and continue to tweak until it's an A plus for you. So just know that this foundation is probably a B or B plus for you, because you're not me, right? We should have businesses that look a little bit different. But the first thing they need to do if they want to be in the relationship world is they need to actually qualify the database. So the biggest challenge that agents have, and they say, I work by relationship. We met because you were kind and brought me to Philadelphia to come to a class when we were at Keller Williams. And I was talking about this. The challenge as I was meeting agents was, I work by referral. Oh, okay, great. Tell me how you generate those referrals. What do you mean? Like, I just get referrals. Okay, so you don't work by referral. You earn referrals. That's fine. I'm talking about what's an actual system, right? Does your database know that you're an agent? Would your database work with you? So the first question for somebody to ask is, of everybody in your quote unquote database, if I called every single one of them today, what percentage of them would say, oh, Garrett is my agent? Right? Most people, when I ask that question, say, not Garrett, whatever their name is, but most people would say, I don't know, like 20 to 30% of people. Okay, great. So you have a ton of wasted relationships, right? Quote unquote. These other 70% of people that haven't said they're going to support you or work with you. Why are you spending time, energy, and money on them? That doesn't make sense. That's not a business decision, right? And so we need to cut them out. And then we need to go make sure that everybody else left knows that you're their agent of choice, right? That's as simple as saying, hey, you may or may not know I'm in real estate, whatever your scenario, or as I've been in real estate for a couple years, I'm refocusing my business by caring for people I care about most, like you. So I was wondering, if you had a friend or family member thinking of making a move, do you have an agent you'd refer them to? And hopefully a lot of them will say, yeah, you're my agent. Great. Some will say, no, I don't have an agent. Great. I'd love to be that agent. Some of them are going to say, my sister just got licensed. I'd send them to her. Fantastic. Why are you spending time, energy, and money on that person? Take them out of your CRM. That's okay. Move on. Focus on the people who are going to help you build your business. It's an ego number when we have, I have 500 people in my database. Great. I'd rather have fewer and really pay attention to the right people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to start there. Right. And I can pause if you have questions, then I'll just walk through the system, or you tell me what you want me to keep going.
So I think you're going to hopefully get to next, actually, how, and you actually keep in touch. That's the direction I would have gone. So you keep talking.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. You got to start there. What I've seen is the difference between a good agent and a great agent is understanding to qualify the database. That's why I start there. So then once you've done that, how do you consistently stay in touch? Mm-hmm. Mine is super simple. Right? Super simple. It's from a lot of study in psychology and understanding what consumers are looking for. But so it's not rocket science, right? It's a mailer every month. We use Wise Pelican. It's a postcard because people open the mail over the trash can today. So just let them see yourself, right? Let them see your face. You can create one or pick something they already have. Stop wasting time and being afraid of what it is. Just put it out there, make it look good, right? We spend about $100 a month. That's it. Then on the 15th, there's an email that goes behind it, right? Use ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, here's what my mailer looks like. Can you give me some sort of short email that's going to just follow that same trajectory? Super simple. And I would send it from your actual personal email address. Just blind copy everybody. Super easy, super simple. A lot of agents do that. That's not going to change your business. It's just showing up consistently and being in front of them, right? So that's the first of the month is the mailer. The 15th of the month is an email. That happens every month. It's 12 mailers, 12 emails. There's 24 touches for the year. The biggest difference between what I'm trying to incorporate and teach other agents versus other things they hear, right, is mine is very systematic. The personal touch. So a personal touch happens to your database every month. My personal touches are broken down into quarters. So every quarter you do the same thing, meaning the first month of every quarter, you send a video text to everybody in your database. You could call them if you want. You could just text them if you want. I hate being on the phone. I don't call my people at all anymore, right? So it's video text. You could text them. It's okay too. You got to understand your database, but you're connecting with them somehow. The second month of the quarter, you're doing a handwritten note or an Amazon gift. And I can explain that. The third month of the quarter, you're doing a client event or you're having coffee. Well, you do a client event. And if your best people can't come, you sit down and have coffee with them. And then that's the quarter. So there's 4 quarters in a year. You just do it again the next quarter. So then so let's say January is video text. February is notes in Amazon. March is client event and coffee. What's the next? April is video text. May is notes in Amazon. June is client event and coffee. And you just keep doing that. And it makes it really easy to plan ahead. It makes it really easy to be consistent. I'm never wondering, did I reach out to my people last month? Did I not? Yeah, because I know everyone got a video text. Everybody got a note or an Amazon gift. Everyone got invited to a client event. And so it's these personal touches consistently over time. When someone says, how do you sell as many houses as you do? Because for 10 years, I've never missed a month of doing my lead generation. That's why. Be the tortoise, not the hare. The consistency is what wins in our industry. And so it's a really simple system. And I can go nuanced into any of those, deeper on any of those that you want. But that's the simple system laid out that way.
Great. So let's talk about 2 of those things, actually. So
okay,
let's talk about the Amazon gift. I'd like to hear a little bit more about that
Perfect.
for our listeners.
Yep.
Break that down for us.
Yeah. Okay. So every second month of the quarter, we pick out 10 people. So me and my lead agent pick out 10 people in our database. And it just allows us to, I did a lot of pop buys. If you're early in your career, if you're 1 or 2 years in, I would say do a pop buy gift, right? Drop something off at their door. Doesn't need to be expensive. The value is the fact that you showed up. But after you've done that a while, your database knows, yeah, she's an agent. He's an agent. I get it. All those things. We shifted to Amazon gifts for 2 reasons. Everyone loves to show up and see that there's an Amazon package on their front porch. Of course they do. Who doesn't? It allows us to be, number two, way more specific and intentional. If we're doing Popeyes, we're doing the same Popeye for everybody. With Amazon, we limit it to $15 is the limit of each gift. And then we're able to be super intentional about it. It has the added effect of you get 2 touches out of it, right? So when we order something for them, I screenshot it, right? I saw that one of my clients, their daughter just turned 5, but it was like 2 weeks ago and I hadn't seen it, right? She loves Frozen like my 4-year-old. And so I found a little thing that was like an Elsa doll and I ordered it for them, right? For their daughter. And I screenshotted it and I said, hey, friends, I'm so sorry I missed your daughter's birthday. I saw that she had a birthday. She loves Elsa just like my daughter, so I wanted to get her this. Please tell her happy birthday from me. I send over that screenshot to them. And the day I order it, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That is so kind. You didn't have to do that, whatever. And then the day that it arrives, guess what? Oh my gosh, Garrett, she loves it. Thank you so much again. And so I'm getting a double win, right, from sending that Amazon gift. It's as simple as picking 10 people, paying attention, maybe looking on social media, what have they been up to, and trying to send them something. I've had people who have, my dog passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I saw that. I wanted to get you a little something just to let you know I love you guys. I'm thinking about you, whatever the scenario is, right? Screenshot, send it to them. And then when it arrives, man, thank you so much for thinking of us. And so it's just being more intentional and it's elevating the moment that they have with me, right? As opposed to just texting everybody. Writing notes are amazing, but it's this elevated moment. Like, who else that is not family is saying, hey, I saw your daughter had a birthday. I'm sorry I missed it. I wanted to get you something for her. Who else is doing that in their life? Nobody. Right? No one is doing, even friends, like on the fringe of that, are not doing that. And so for me to show up and do it, it's elevating the relationship that we have, which means they want their friends to win, which means when they're talking to people about real estate, they want to send them to me because I'm the guy that does those kinds of things.
So I love that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to rip off and duplicate that.
Do
By
it.
the way,
Absolutely do it.
I've done a lot of similar things, but that's an awesome one. I really like.
Yeah.
Really
Cool.
like that.
Please do it.
And then the other thing that you mentioned was I'd like to hear a little bit more about it, and our listeners, I'm sure, could benefit from it, is your events. You said you do 4 events a year. What kind of events do you do? And I'm imagining that you have a systematized playbook around it saying, okay, this is what happens before the event. This is when we send out. This is when we do. This is when we call, whatever you do. And what are those events?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes to all of those things. What I learned is, and I'll encourage anybody, what I learned is I don't have to spend as much money as I think I do for them to be effective. So when I got in, I was averaging about $2,500 per event. So about 10 grand a year on events. Now it was partnered with a lender. So I was paying 5, they were paying 5, and it was generating 50 deals a year, right? From the total system. Then I asked, I wonder if I can spend $800 an event and still generate the same amount of money or same amount of deals. And I did. And so it doesn't need to be expensive. And it doesn't need to be complicated. When I talk to agents about doing events, the main concern they have is how they feel like it's going to be too complex. And so here's my rule of thumb in events, and I'll tell you exactly what we do. But my rule of thumb in events is you cannot have to play coordinator. All you get to do is play host. What I mean is a lot of agents, and I did this too early on, I would create an event that was like, oh, I got to go check when the ice cream truck is here. Oh, I got to check is, the band here. Oh, I got to check is the caterer here, all those things. Guess what I didn't get to do? Interact with my people. I was so busy coordinating the event. So I had to simplify what it was. And so here's what we did. So this year we did our fifth or sixth maybe movie morning in March. And so we rent out a movie theater. So you got to pay for every single seat in the theater. And then we negotiate a kid's snack pack that's $5 each. And we invite people to, my database is mostly people my age, right? We've got 5 little kids. Most of the people in my database have little kids. And so we do like a PG movie that we think would be family friendly. Invite everybody to it. I'll talk about the invite structure, but we invite everybody to it. All my job is that day is I pay for it and I check people in. right? So I get to see them, they get the tickets, say hi, give them hugs, whatever. They go and watch a movie. I don't have to do anything. We go watch the movie too. And then right when the movie's about to end, we step out and then we give hugs and say bye as they leave. That's literally it. At the end of that event, so after every event, anyone that comes gets a handwritten note on Monday, right? Thank you so much. It was great to see you. If they didn't come, but they had registered, so sorry, we missed you. Hope we see you next time. Hope everything's okay. So we're ending that with a handwritten note, but that's super simple. In June, right? So every 3 months, and that's the most expensive event. Let me say that. So that probably runs me about $1,500 for the movie party. That's between me and the lender, because we'll have 175 people there. It's pretty packed. Who doesn't want a free movie? Yeah. And then, so we'll do that. In June, we do an ice cream social. So same one every year, right? We know where we're going. It's a local ice cream shop. They open for us from 11 to 1 on a Saturday in June. And everybody that comes through, they keep track of it. And then we pay up at the end. So we average about 120 people. It's $800 or so total, which is a lot of ice cream. Split with my lender, it cost me $400, and I see everybody and I get to invite everybody. Unbelievable and so easy. I sit there and eat ice cream with my kids and see my database. That's exactly what it should be. In September, we have a local park, city park here that has a pavilion and animals at the park. So we rent the pavilion for like $100 and $150. Can't remember exactly. We get donuts and coffee from a local donut place. And then I hire one of the people in my database who's a wedding photographer. And so we do free family portraits. So anybody in our database can come from 9:30 to 11:30. And they can come and get donuts, coffee, hang out with us, have their kids look around, play on the playground, see the animals, whatever. And then from 10 to 11, our photographer is taking family portraits. When that's done, all of you guys, we already bought all the digital copies for you. So here they are. Go enjoy them, right? I mean, again, that's probably like $900 total. So $450 to me, super inexpensive. And we've done that, I think 8 or 9 years in a row. My database now has grown up with us, a lot of them, right? And so in every year, the only family photo they have is from our event. It's awesome. What a cool way to serve them, right? And that 150 people or so. And then in December, we always do a holiday lights drive-through. So we tried other events that totally bombed, which I'm happy to share those too. But when COVID hit, we're like, how do we do something that we're going to engage with them? And so now, super easy, on a Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. And I live in a cul-de-sac, so it works perfectly. You could do it at an office, wherever you are. It doesn't matter where you go. And we get hot chocolate. We get little bags of candy, little reindeer earrings, whatever. They put the reindeer ears on their head, little fun glasses. Yeah, whatever. We do just fun little things like that. And then we print out a list of the best Christmas lights in the area. And we make a fun Mad Lib that is just on the back of that, right? Just for fun. And so they literally pull up every year, no joke. We're like, we should not do this event. No one actually likes it. And then we have 50 cars. Like, how do people like this? We don't understand. Why are they going out of their way to get hot chocolate and these few things? But they love it. They pull up and we're saying hi. Now, some of my kids are old enough, so they're helping pass it out. But they pull around. We hand them, how many hot chocolates do you want? Here's your list for lights, right? How's everybody doing? What are your plans for Christmas? Whatever the scenario is. Give them a little bit of candy if they want it. Give them some fun ears and glasses, whatever. And they get to go have fun with their family. And we don't have to do anything anymore, right? They get to go have family time. Why are they having family time? Because of my team, my real estate team. And so it is super simple. We set up, we're done. It takes 2.5 hours. It's probably like $600 total. I don't even know. But it is very inexpensive, but we're touching everybody and we're inviting them to things they want to be part of. So we've done the exact same event, all 4 of those events, the same thing, like 5 years in a row, right? We found the ones that we like. We found the ones that our database likes, and I've just done them over and over again. So it makes it super simple for me. And then I'll walk through the structure of the invite, but it makes it really easy for me to say in September of 2029, what are we going to be doing? A family photo event. Right? I just already know what it is. It's not crazy. It's not hard. I don't have to recreate the wheel every year. I just show up and do it. Just execute on it. That's the parties. The invitation. So 3 weeks before, let's say the party's on a Saturday, which mostly it is. 3 Mondays before, we send an email out, an email invitation. The email invitation says, we hope you can join us. Here's the event. Click here to RSVP. Takes them to our website. Here's the information. Click here. It just goes to a Google form. They fill it out. That simple. And then, so that's 3 weeks, 3 Mondays before the event, email. 2 Mondays before the event, another email. The next day, so the Tuesday, the agent sent individual text as an invite, right? Hey, I hope you saw, hey, use their name. I hope you saw our invitation to the upcoming Holiday Lights Tour drive-through. Would love for you guys to come. Hope you can make it. Here's a link to RSVP, right? So we already have gotten 3 touches out of this. Then the Monday before, so like the Monday of the event, another email. That Tuesday, the next day, another round of text, right? So we're touching everybody 5 times. And then on Thursday, we're sending text messages to everyone who has RSVP'd to say, hey, just a reminder, this event Saturday, we hope you can make it. We're so excited to see you. The next day, Friday, email reminder, right, to everyone who said yes. Hey, just a reminder tomorrow. And then, like I said, the Monday after the event, it could be the week after, it doesn't matter, but then we're writing notes to everybody who came. So that's 8 touches just around the event, right? The purpose of the event is the invitation, not the attendance. Though I want them to come, but I also want to have a reason to invite them to something. And so it's really simple. It's in literally November. We're recording this November 18th. November, whatever of next year of 2026, whatever day is going to be 3 Mondays before our Holiday Lights drive-through, it's already in my calendar to send out an email, right? So again, it takes the guesswork out of what do I need to do? I already know. It's already planned. It's already built out. And all I got to do is show up and execute. We figured out the parties that people like. We have a lender that helps pay, and it's highly effective, very well attended. And those who can't come are like, man, I'm bummed to miss it this year. Not that I want them to feel bad about it, but that's a great thing for me. I missed Garrett's event again. I wish I could have been there. So it's super simple, really duplicatable, and not very expensive.
Awesome. That's great information. I love it. I love the events.
Good.
And I love how many people that you can connect with at one time over that.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about, you've always been one to balance family life and business life really well. And I think that's something that agents and entrepreneurs in general just don't seem to be able to master, right? So can you talk a little bit about that? How you do it? What do you set those expectations up front, and what's your system for that?
Yeah. So great question. And I wrote a book on it, but I'm not a master at it either. I'm working on it too. And I don't want anyone to get the preconceived idea that I figured it out, because I certainly haven't. I'm trying to figure it out. Again, we've got 5 little kids. The oldest is 8, down to 4 months. And so I want to be home. These are important years for me to be present as possible. So I would say 2 main things. The first one is, it is too common in the real estate industry, in any entrepreneurial world, that someone else has told you what success looks like, right? In our world, someone told us, the industry told us, success is how many homes did you sell? How much money did you make? What was your volume GCI? Did you get an award at Realtor Prom at the end of the year? That's what success is. And so we, myself included, fall prey to, that's the only way I know if I'm succeeding. I've got to sell more homes. I've got to make more money. I've got to do all of these things. I need a better ranking, all this stuff. My calling in this book is for us to say, hold on, that's not how I would define success. We need to redefine what winning looks like. We need to start there and say, yeah, I want to sell homes. Yeah, I want to earn income. Of course I do. But I also want to be present for my wife. I want to take her on dates twice a month during the day. I also want to spend legitimate time with my family. And so for me, I'm going to take every 7th week off and spend time with them. And so now I've created a new scoreboard, a new way for me to keep score, right? Which allows me to create a more intentional business. What I mean by that is, if someone asks me, Garrett, how do I sell 30 homes next year? Or an entrepreneur says, how do I make 100K? I would say that's the easiest thing in the world. Work 120 hours a week, borrow $100,000, spend it, and you'll find your way to 30 sales. You'll find your way to a 100K business, whatever it is. But I don't think that's the question you're really asking. I think what you want to know is, in their scenario, how do I sell 30 homes next year while not missing family dinners and never working on a Sunday, or whatever their scenario is? If you ask a better question, then you actually get to design the business that's going to serve that actual definition of success, right? Whatever that looks like for them. So we've got to start there. We've got to have a better way for us to make decisions. I'll give you an example. So had created this scoreboard 2 years ago. I started living it out this way, right? Realizing I'm just chasing the industries telling me, do more, go to this event, do that, do all these things. And the only one really losing is my family, because daddy's not there and they want daddy to be there, right? And I'm just doing it because I feel like I have to. I'm trying to keep up with everybody, right? All of those things. And it just doesn't matter. I was putting it in my ego account, not my family account. Let me say it that way. And that's not worth doing. And as I redefined and started to create my own scoreboard, right, to say, what does winning look like to me individually? Each person, it's different. So one of them was the 7th week off for my kids, right? I got this awesome opportunity to speak at this really cool event. Was it going to help me hit my profit goal? Sure. So I have a profit, wife, and kid goal. Was it going to help me hit my profit goal? Yeah. Could I still take my wife on 2 day dates that month? Yeah, of course. It fell in the 7th week off. This happened 3 days after I came up with the scoreboard. I'm like, all right, Lord, what are you trying to do here? And so I had to tell him, man, I would love to do it. Please ask me again next year. I can't come. It's in the 7th week off. I had a new way to make decisions, right? That was why I got in this industry. I wanted to be present for my kids. So I had to actually start choosing that direction. So I would say that's number one, right? Is actually have a clear definition of what does that look like. It could easily go back to, why did I even get in this industry in the first place, right? Why did I start a business? Why did I X, Y, and Z? I did it because I wanted to be more present with my kids. I did it because I wanted more time freedom. I did it because whatever. Then are you still living that out, or are you caught up in that hustle culture, caught up in the world that just says make more? And then with clients, I honestly think it's really easy, right? Clients are used to, if you call the doctor's office, you don't say, tell the doctor I'm coming in at 8 p.m. tonight, right? I need to see him. And then they're like, of course, he'll be there, right? First of all, you don't even talk to the doctor, but that's not how it works. You call the doctor and you say, I really need to see the doctor. And if the doctor is valuable enough to you, they say, doctor has time tomorrow at 2. You're like, great, I'll figure it out and I'll be there. The problem in our industry, in particular in real estate, is we've been told that good service is 24/7. We've been told not to be the doctor, but to be the commodity that's, I'll do it whenever you want, whatever you want to do, I'll show up and I'll be there. If we actually build a business, if we show up and we create value, and someone says, you know what, I need that surgeon, I need that specialist, I'll wait for them. Then when I tell someone, hey, I'm excited to help you guys buy a home, whatever the scenario is, I can go Tuesday from 2 to 5 to show houses, or I could go Thursday from 3 to 5, whatever, what works best for you. And they'll say, oh, we're working then. Hey, I totally understand, right? That's just what I have open. Oh, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. Well, let's do Tuesday. Great. Fantastic. It's not bad customer service. I'm protecting my family. If I can't take care of my family, I can't take care of theirs. And guess what? They're able to have that flexibility. So it's just setting expectations up front, right? This is how this works. I always tell people I'm available 8 to 7, Monday through Friday. Doesn't mean I'm always working. I'm just available. And Saturdays by appointment, not available Sunday unless we're actively negotiating. And Wednesday nights is date night, right? So every other week, Wednesday is date night. So you won't get a hold of me after 5. Okay, cool. Feels like a lot. Feels like I'm open. Every other business in the world has hours. Why don't we have hours? Everybody understands hours. We just have chosen to say, call me whenever, I'll take care of it. That's not how this should work. You can't block or protect anything in a world where I'm just chasing and always available to somebody. So it is about setting expectations. But I would say first and foremost, it's understanding when I protect this time, what is that doing? For me, it means I get to show up and be a present husband and dad. That is so much more important than answering a phone call at 8 p.m. It just is. And my clients respect that. And if they don't, which honestly, they always have, if they don't, that's fine. They can find another agent. My kids can't find another dad. So let them go find another agent. But my kids shouldn't have to go find a different dad because they can't. So choose where you want to be present, and all the time that you have left after it, be really good at building your business, but make sure you're choosing the right things as often as you can.
So that's so helpful. That's so helpful. What would you tell your younger self if you were starting out?
Yeah. Oh, so many things, right? I would say it takes longer than you think. Everything takes longer than you think. So just be patient, but don't give up. That would be the main advice, right? If you just keep running long enough, you will eventually get there. And I didn't know that. And so I would tell myself to not give up. And then I would tell myself to I would say, Garrett, give yourself a lot of grace, right? Like this success looks like failure after failure. That's what success actually looks like. And I didn't know that. I was really hard on myself when I would make mistakes early on, right? I was really hard on myself when I would fail. And now I know that's just what it looks like to succeed. And so give yourself grace. as you build this out. Those would be the main things for me. Thankfully, like I was pretty good early on about setting expectations and boundaries for myself and my family. And so I think I did a decent job at that, but knowing that you can give yourself grace, knowing that it's going to take longer than you think, just don't give up. Those would be the main things.
So important. So important.
Yeah.
So let us talk. And you did mention this. I understand that you have a book coming out very soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about the book. Let's talk about when it's coming out, how our listeners can get it. And yeah, take
Yeah. Super cool. Yeah. Thank you. So it's called The Balance Breakthrough: Winning at Work Without Losing at Life. They can buy it literally anywhere. It comes out November 25th. So if this is after it'll be out. Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble will be all those places. So they can go buy that anywhere. And the book is really a desire, like for me, ultimately, it's a desire to restore the entrepreneur's family, right? We've made a lot of bad trade-offs, and we've done that because we've been in pursuit of somebody else's definition of success, or we've been taught that you have to do it a certain way, right? That succeeding in whatever real estate is cold calling 3 hours a day, door knocking, social media, open houses, all the things. And you're like, I don't know how to go home. I have 8 hours of lead gen to do every single day. How in the world could I even go home? It's a call to our industry to say there's a better way. You don't need to be all things to all people. In fact, you need to figure out who you are and go be excellent at that. That's what it's supposed to look like. And you can do that. And it's my hope is the book is, number one, the part one is helping them redefine what winning looks like, right? Creating that scoreboard. Part two is using what I call the PDA formula to actually build a business that's going to align with who they are, that's going to be more profitable and predictable. And then part three is how do you then now go intentionally achieve this? So from understanding what's my right next thing to what's my hierarchy of attention, these different pieces that I walk through in the book, I want them to recognize that the life that we're in pursuit of right now is not necessarily the one we intended to pursue, right? We have a dash between the years on our headstone, right? Everybody does. The year you're born, the year you died, and a dash in between. When our life is over, that dash is going to represent our entire life. So what are we doing with the dash? That's the question, right? Is it in pursuit of getting a higher ranking compared to everybody else in the market? Or is it showing up and loving your wife and loving your kids, right? We all struggle with those. I struggle with it too. But what are we actually choosing to do? And so let's be really intentional on that. Then let's equip you to actually intentionally achieve that, right? By having a better, more intentional business. And then where do we go from there? That's the heart behind the book. It's obviously more to it than that. But I really think that any entrepreneur, especially a real estate entrepreneur, is going to be able to walk away with a new vision for their life, but also a new way to actually achieve that vision. And that's really my hope.
That's excellent. I will definitely pick up a copy of it.
Yeah, awesome.
As
Thank
it's
you.
out.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Love it. I can't wait to read it. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners before we close out?
Gosh, obviously I talk too much. And so my wife's glad when I get to be on podcast. She's like, oh, you're done talking for the day? I'm like,
We
babe,
love
there
it.
is a
You
lot
share
more where
so
that came
much.
from.
We love
Yeah, exactly. No, and I appreciate that question. I genuinely would say two things. The first one I already said, give yourself grace. This is harder than everybody thinks it's going to be. And if you're in a world where most of the people around you aren't entrepreneurs, they don't understand, not because they're ignorant, because they just don't get it. It's harder than we think it's going to be. Give yourself grace and don't give up. And then number two, I would say your job is to pursue and understand, who am I wired to be? You don't need to be what they tell you to be, what the industry says you should be. I have so many experiences where someone said, you can't just work by relationship. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I just said no. And they told me I wasn't going to succeed because of that. Your job is to figure out who you are and just go be that and be excellent at that. And so if you're chasing all of the things they told you to do, throw them away, get in a quiet room and say, who am I and how do I want to build? And then go be in pursuit of that. I think that's going to be the greatest way for them to win, greatest way for them to have balance, greatest way for them to end the day with energy to show up for their family instead of just being burnt out because they hated how they spent their day. And we got to restore that. We got to find a new way to continue to pursue, who am I and how do I need to build this? And so I can show up still for everybody else.
That's awesome. So thank you so very much. How can our listeners find you if they would like to follow you further?
Yeah. So easiest way, go to garrettmaroon.com. They can connect with us. They can grab the book there, check out all kinds of resources that we have for them. So that'd be the easiest way.
Excellent. I really appreciate you being on today. Thank you so
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's conversation with Garrett Maroon. I hope this episode encouraged you to rethink what success really looks like, not just in your business, but in your life, your faith, and your relationships. Garrett's message is such an important reminder that you can build a business that serves your family, honors your values, and still grows with intention and impact. If something in this episode spoke to you, share it with another agent or entrepreneur who could use this message. And don't forget to check out Garrett's new book, The Balance Breakthrough. The Balance Breakthrough and The Faithful Community, both incredible resources for building a business fueled by purpose, not pressure. Always, thank you for being part of this journey with me. Together, we unlock possibilities. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to Pending and Trending. Remember, generational wealth doesn't happen by accident. It happens by action. If you like today's episode, share it with a friend, subscribe, and let's keep elevating your journey together.